We're going to start today with factoring trinomials with leading coefficient that is greater than 1. Okay, so where there is no greatest common factor other than 1. So for example, we're going to factor 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. As we can see, the leading coefficient is greater than 1. And this one is a, as we've been learning. So step number 1, I have broken down this problem into 5 steps. So the step number 1, we need to make sure the trinomial is in a standard form. What is a standard form? Remember from class or from other lectures, ax squared plus bx plus c. This is the standard form. Because the highest exponent is on x squared, a is called the leading coefficient. So the leading coefficient in this case is 2. And you can see that you have 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. And the only greatest common factor that we have here is 1. There is no other greatest common factor on this trinomial. So we move to step number 2. You're going to ask, in this case, we're going to use what we call in class the x method. I'm going to draw an x. And you're going to ask, what two numbers multiply to 12 and add to 7, the middle term? It helps to write down the factors of 12 until you find the correct pair. So what that means? What that means is, for example, I have 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So what I'm going to do is multiply the leading coefficient with the independent term. So I'm going to say 2 times 6 equals to 12. And this 12 goes on top of my x. Now, which number goes at the bottom of my x? It goes the middle term, 7. Okay. Now I'm going to ask, according to step number 2, which two numbers multiply each other will give me 12. And if you add them, in this case it's going to be add because both are positive. But you ask when you add them or subtract them, it's going to give you 7. Now, first, if you want, we're going to find the factors of 12. So you put 12, and I'm going to divide them by the smallest prime number. In this case is 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 is still divisible by 2, which is 3. And I'm going to do 3 because 3 divided by 3 is 1. So if I have 12, the factors are 2 times 2 times 3 times 1. And then you can start creating your pairs to trial and error to see which ones will give me that result. For example, I'm going to start with the easy one. In this case, I'm going to have 4 times 3. So 2 times 2 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Also, I have 2 times 6. And also I have, if I multiply 2 times 2 times 3 is 12 times 1. I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to see which one of these ones gives me the answer. Remember, repeat again, it says, I need two numbers that multiply will give me 12. And if you add them, will give you 7. So in this case, I'm going to start with the first one, which is the answer. I'm going to write 4 and 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So in this case, what proceeds? We're going to rewrite your trinomial using 3x plus 4x. So for example, I have 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. And what I did was breaking down the 7x into two terms. So I have 2x squared, and I'm going to do it with this different color, plus 7x. Well, in this case, it's plus 6. And then what I did was 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6. Now I'm going to use the grouping technique. I'm going to group these two first. So 2x squared plus 4x, then I have 3x plus 6. As you can see, I switched these 3x and 4x. Why? Because I have 2x squared the first, and 2 and 4, they have a greatest common factor. So I was able to switch them. It's not necessarily. You're still going to get the same result. Now, what is the step number 4? factor the first two terms, the last two terms as shown. This is called factoring by grouping. So let me write this one here. 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 6. So what I'm going to do is greatest common factor. I can see that it's 2. I have 2 and 4. So my greatest common factor is 2x. I'm going to pick the smallest exponent, the variable with the smallest exponent. And then you can proceed with 2 divided by 2 is 1. You have x squared, but you took 1 away, so you only have x. Plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, and you took all the x away, so it's just x plus 2. Now, if you have x plus 2, you have to get x plus 2 in this second term. So what is the greatest common factor? It's going to be 3 plus 3. Okay, so parentheses. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so you only have x, plus 6 divided by 3 is 2, and I have x plus 2. And finally, it says factor out the binomial 2x plus 3. Remember that you have this one here. Factor out that binomial. So we're going to have 2x plus 3 and x plus 2. And that's your solution using the grouping technique for factorizing trinomials where the leading coefficient is different than 1. Now, if you multiply 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times 2 is 4x, 3x, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is 6, and it gives you the original problem. Okay, I have another example. I'm going to switch the paper. So the next problem that I have is 6x squared and then plus 13x, then plus 6. Remember, I'm not going to have all the steps here. I'm just going to continue. Step number 1, we need to make sure there is no greatest common factor in this trinomial. So I have 6, 13, 6. 13 is a prime number, so we cannot extract greatest common factor. Now I'm going to draw an x. And I need, in this case, two numbers. I'm going to multiply the leading coefficient times the independent term. So 6 times 6 is 36. And the middle term goes at the bottom of the x. So I have 13. So I need to break down this 36 into prime numbers. I'm going to do it until I get enough practice. So 36 is divided by 2, which is 18. 18 is divisible by 2, which is 9. And 9 is divisible by 3, which is 3. So 36 is the same as 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 1. You can add 1, and then you can make your pairs if you want. For example, if I choose 2 first, 2 times 3 times 3 is 18. So 2 times 18 is equals to 36. Okay, now choose these two. Equals 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. Now I have another one. If you choose the last one, 2 times 3 is 12 times 3. That's another pair. So then now you can test these numbers. For example, let me choose 2 and 18. I'm going to pencil 2 and 18. I know that 2 times 18 is 36, but 2 plus 18 is not 13. So this pair here, I'm not going to use it. So let me erase this one here. Now I'm going with 4 and 9. I know that's the solution. 4 and 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. And 4 plus 9 is 13. So this pair is going to be my solution. So now I proceed to step number 2, which is writing my trinomial 6x squared plus 13x. But I know that 13 is plus 4x plus 9x plus 6. Next step, we are going to group the first two, and then we group this, the second pair of numbers. 6x squared plus 4x plus 9x plus 6. I always leave a positive in between, okay? I'll always leave a positive I will not leave a negative there. The negative, if I have a negative here, will come from the greatest common factor of the second term. Now, greatest common factor between 6 and 4, in this case, is 2x. I can see that I have x in both terms, so 2x. Then you proceed with the division. 6 divided by 2 is 3x. You have x squared. You took 1 away, so you still have 1 left. Plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, 3x plus 2. That means I need to have here 3x plus 2, 2. So greatest common factor between 9 and 6 is going to be 3 plus 3. Why 3? Okay, 9 is 3 times 3. 6 is 3 times 2. I see that I have 3 as greatest common factor. Parenthesis, 9 divided by 3 is 3x plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. See, I have 3x plus 2. Now I'm going to group 2x plus 3 and 3x plus 2. 2x plus 3 and 3x plus 2. And that is my factor form of the trinomial. One more, going to involve a negative number. So I have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Remember, draw your x. We're going to multiply the first term and the independent term. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Now I have a negative number on top. What is the bottom number? 3. Okay, we know in this case that 4 is equals to 2 times 2. You can add 1 if you want. So we can have 4 times 1, 2 times 2. Now, why it is important that 1? Look at this case. If I write here 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. You can add a negative here. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. But 2 plus negative 2 is not 3. It's 0. They cancel out. And even if you switch this negative to the other side, if you write it here, you have negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, but negative 2 plus 2 is not positive 3. That reason why I wrote this 4 and 1. So I'm going to have 4 and 1. Okay. Remember, I need the top number negative, but the bottom number is positive. And the bottom number is going to tell you where the negative goes, because it's the difference between this number gives you a positive number. 4 is the biggest number, so that means 1 is negative. 4 minus 1 is 3, but 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So now proceed to write it here, 2x squared plus 4x minus 1x, and I'm going to leave that 1 there, minus 2. Okay, let's proceed to group 2x squared plus 4x plus, see the positive always there, negative 1x minus 2. Greatest common factor. Greatest common factor between 2 and 4 is 2x. Then I have x, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. I have x squared, but I took 1 away, so I have x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2, and you took all the x away. Now here, what is the greatest common factor? 1 and 2 are prime numbers. But remember, I have x plus 2, and I have negative x minus 2. So the greatest common factor here is going to be negative 1. Now, negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1x. I'm not going to write the 1 anymore. Negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2. See, x plus 2, x plus 2. Now I'm going to proceed to group 2x minus 1, x plus 2. So I have 2x minus 1 and x plus 2. And this one is my solution to the factorization. If you have any question and if there is any doubt, let me know, and I will be glad to help you.